All right, we'll go ahead and get started, guys, because the topic tonight is being busy with kids and that type of thing, and I'm busy with kids tonight. So my wife is kind enough to try to keep them at the other end of the house long enough for me to get through this, so you don't hear screaming kids getting ready for bed. But real quick, one of the things I want to talk about when I was in training in Georgia, and I posted it on my Instagram. I don't know if everybody's seen it or not. One of the instructors made the comment about if you knew that you were going to be assaulted on a certain day, would you prepare differently? And basically, would you prepare yourself to fight? So I got to thinking about that, and I got thinking that applies for everything in life. Whether if you knew you were going to have a heart attack, would you do different? In my case, I would have done different for sure. So that's something I got to thinking about. I just like the way he said it. He's like, if you knew that you were going to be assaulted and you were going to be murdered in 6 months, would you train differently? And I'm sure most of us, if we knew that day was coming, we would all train differently and prepare for that fight. And just like you don't see boxers or MMA fighters or wrestlers or any of them people go into a fight without doing, weeks and weeks of training. So they know on that day they're going to be in a fight. So they train to be their best. But a lot of times in life, we don't do that for ourselves. And just like I wish that I had time to turn back and I could go back and change things, I would definitely do things different. If I knew I was going to have a heart attack and have 9 stents put in, I would have definitely done things a little differently, for sure, especially when I was a young man. But now I'm an older guy, so I'm still trying to fight, and I don't plan to quit anytime soon. But there's a lot of problems that go into that, and that's kind of what I wanted to cover tonight. I want you guys to kind of chip in and give me some advice, and I try to help you, give you tips. But saying it all is always easy to say, oh, we need to do this, we need to work out 30 minutes a day, or we need to do an hour a day. But that's not always easy, especially in my case, whenever I got a son who's going to be in the NBA, and we go to travel basketball, and we do basketball about 5-6 days a week, and we got a big tournament coming up this weekend. And then you got 2 twin girls that are 2.5. They're just into everything. So living a healthy lifestyle and being fit to fight is not easy, especially for me. And I'm sure you guys struggle with the same thing. So I would really like for you guys to give me some tips of what you guys do to get your fitness and reach your goals. And maybe I can give you some of mine. Hey, James and Samantha. Thanks. Hey to Jill. You guys have any tips for me about just what do you do? I'll tell you one of the things I do. I'm very fortunate right now that my job allows me a lunch break where I can go to the gym and lift weights. So I get that in. So that's one thing that I've done. Used to I would take my lunch break and I just kill it. But now I take that lunch break and I make the best out of it, the best I can. And that I see a lot of benefits from doing that. That's one thing I do. That I went from taking my lunch and eating lunch to trying to eat my lunch really quick. Most of the time I have a protein bar, one of our Fire Team whiskey bars, or either a keto shake, and I get to the gym, I get my workout in. I can easily get in 25 minutes a lot of times. I try not to get too sweaty, so I stick mostly to weight training before I have to go back in. But yeah, that's one thing I do on my lunch break, get that little time in. Another thing I do is I haven't been doing recently, but I'm going to do is start getting up a little bit earlier, trying to get a little fasting cardio in before I go to work. I used to do that a lot before I started going at lunch. And that was, in the beginning, it was really challenging to get up a little bit early because I had to be at work at 7:30, so I had to leave here around 7-ish. So getting up and being at the gym, trying to be there by 6 o'clock and being home by 7, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I'll tell you what, once I got used to it, I really enjoyed that time because it's just so quiet in the morning. The kids are sleeping and, you go out and the gym is quiet. Sometimes I go to the gym, sometimes I take a run around the block. But for me, it was a very peaceful time to just get out and enjoy myself. Just getting up that few minutes earlier, an extra hour in the morning can mean a lot. And, there's a lot of research. I've been doing research on sleep and that kind of thing. And the thing I found is it's not realistic for everybody to get 8 hours of sleep. I wish I could and get what I need to get done, accomplished. So I will settle for 6 good hours of sleep. So I normally do normally by the time I get to the bed, I really don't have a problem most of the time falling asleep. Sometimes I have a little time shutting my brain off, but most of the time I can go to sleep, and I try to get a good quality sleep. So getting up a little earlier has really helped me. And plus, you're more productive once you get in and you get a few minutes workout in. It's it just kind of gives you energy for the day, and I really miss it. So I think I'm gonna get back to it. Plus, and I'll tell you this: I went and I did a body scan to see where I'm at, and I was a little disappointed in the scan because it said I lost 8 pounds of muscle, and that's not what I'm trying to do. Out of 15 pounds, it said I lost almost 8 pounds of muscle. And I was walking around depressed about it, and I got thinking, I'm like, that's not possible. I'm like, you know what you do? You eat, you live, you see the difference in your muscle tone. There's no way I could have lost 8 pounds of muscle is a lot. So I was in my feelings a little bit this weekend about that test. But all in all, it was a win because I did. It was like I was 15 and a half pounds down. And but I don't quite believe that it calculated my muscle and my fat exactly right. So, you guys have any tips for just being busy in life in general? I see James in there all the time. You guys always busy. You motivate me. Let's see, maybe I got this thing wrong. Look at this. This thing scrolls down. See, I'm sorry, guys. I thought it automatically scrolled down, but I have to physically scroll it down to see the messages. So, okay. James says he's getting up earlier too. Yeah, that's nice. 4:30. That's early. Yeah, take your show on the road. That's right, Joe. Them TRX bands are really good. I really like them. I've been thinking about getting a certification on them. And saying that on top of that, just getting your time in to work out, that's just part of the battle. So like meal prepping and all that kind of things, you have to find what works for you. And what's working for me is fasting and eating most of my calories in one big meal. I eat small meals while I'm at work, and so that's what works for me because it takes out a step of having to prep my lunch. But I will say this, that I do like having a post-workout meal, so I've started adding in. I found a protein that has 0 carbs in it, so I've been adding that in to try to get a little more protein in, especially on days that I lift heavy weights and stuff. But then getting you 25 minutes in, but then you also got to plan your meals, because whether you fast or whether it's one meal or 3 meals a day or 6 meals, you got to plan accordingly, and that's more time. And like when you're busy as I am, and I tell you what, we go to a lot of basketball tournaments and they will not allow you to bring in food, but I always have a couple of my 5-team whiskey protein bars or the keto bars in my pocket, so I kind of sneak them in so I don't have to pay $6-7 for a hot dog that I don't want to eat anyway. Steph says she schedules her workout every single day. Steph seems to be very organized. That's what my wife always tells me that's my downfalls. I'm not organized at all. Yeah. Most of the time, James, we get our food in like through our diaper bag, like a little, we take it in. They don't normally check that too much. Proper deadlift techniques. Okay. Well, deadlifts is something that I believe is a very good exercise. And I've done away with doing deadlifts for a long time because I had some lower back issues. But I finally broke down and went to the chiropractor a few months back, and started building my back up, and I started doing squats and stuff, and my back got stronger so it didn't hurt. So I started back deadlifting. But deadlifting, there is some techniques and tricks to deadlifting that will keep you from hurting your lower back, because a lot of people round their back. So you got to start. I wish I could show you, but basically when you're going to start from your bar, and I use alternator grip, one over, one under. You can do it either way, whatever's comfortable. But I like to do one over, one under. And then basically you put your shins right at the bar, just a little bit past shoulder width apart. Keep your shin there. So then when you go down, you keep your back straight and kind of relax your arms. And then whenever you get ready to pull up, you kind of, it's a little snatch and you pull your back and your lower back straight and you stand up with your legs. And that keeps you from rounding over. My suggestion, if you're going to do deadlifts, start with like doing like some stiff-legged deadlifts. There's a what they call a Roman deadlift, where you can put the bar up on the like a lot of times people use like the squat rack and use the safety bars. You can do the Roman, and you can YouTube Roman deadlifts. They're a good way to start to build you up to doing doing a proper deadlift. But deadlifts are a very, very good exercise. They work almost all your muscles in your body, from your legs to your core, and you don't really have to do a bunch of them. It's not like a lot of exercises where you need to go in there and rep it out and try to go for high volume. 3 sets of 10 of a moderate weight is plenty, and probably even I would say 3 sets of 6 or 7 would be a good start, especially until you got your technique down. Yeah. So it was not like a pain, it's just the muscles burning. A lot of times when we're doing like kettlebell stuff, we're doing a lot of high reps and that causes us to burn. And if you get I would suggest you go down on the weight. If it's starting to be uncomfortable, then you probably got your weight is too heavy. Especially like if you're doing like the goblet squat, it helps you stay a little straight. I don't know exactly what your form is, but the goblet squat is where you hold it here, and it kind of forces you to stay in a good position and lower. Well, actually, that's the squat, the goblet squat. But the deadlift, if you're doing the deadlifts with that, you have a tendency to be too far up under. You're not centered when you're not doing it with a straight bar. So basically, you're going to have you need to bring it away from your feet a little bit so you're not rounded so much. If it's back towards your heels, you probably got your back rounded too much. So when you're coming up, you're actually going to be working your back muscle more than your legs. So yeah, the muscle burn. I get the muscle burn in my back when I do the kettlebell swings, and a lot of people do the kettlebell swings a little bit wrong too. Like they use a lot of the arms on the actual swing is mostly it's a hip exercise where you're thrusting at the hip and your arms are pretty much just holding it like a pendulum. But I see a lot of people actually trying to swing with their arms, using their arm muscles. And there is an exercise you do that, but normally the kettlebell swing. But yeah, if I go too heavy on that one, I definitely feel that same burn in my lower back. But a little burn in your lower back is not bad. I mean, but if it's too much and you can't finish your number of reps, then definitely go down on the weight. Yeah, I would love to see exactly what you're doing. But like I said, with the kettlebell, doing the deadlifts, I don't know if you're doing it with the 1 or the 2. Make sure you put it out in front of your toes, because if you got it back in between your feet, then you're going to be too rounded, and that's not a good position. Now, if you get the right position where your back is straight, just always remember when you go down and you go parallel to the floor, your back should be in an upright position. So if you're rounded this way in and your shoulders are rounded, then your back is probably rounded. So have your shoulders here. And if your shoulders are square, then you're probably going to be a lot better position to keep that lower back pain away. All right, any more questions about any exercises, guys? My girls are actually being really good. I don't even hear them. It's like there's nobody in my house. And I promise you, on the other end of this house, it's a zoo. I promise you. But Jill, one other thing you can do with that kettlebell is don't go all the way down to the floor. Start off building it up, just going down to like you need, kind of like a Roman deadlift. And the Roman deadlift is kind of like a stiff-legged deadlift. You can look it up, but that's a good way to build your lower back and your strength, and to make sure you have proper form for doing the actual deadlift. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. Go help put the kids down. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And this um, Facebook page is the one I'm going to be using for my Fire Tea Whiskey. So if you don't like me, go in there and like it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm at Fit the Fight Coach on Instagram. So make sure you follow me there. I got a video staff that I'm working on. I know you're waiting on it, so I got it. I did it today. I just got to get it put together for you. I feel you, Jill. I don't have far to go, but that's a good thing. That means, less to hurt, I guess. All right, there's nothing else, everybody. Fire team. I will see you guys later. Take care. Have any questions, please hit me up.